Hey, I'm Jorrit Schulte for AE Tats Plus and back with another tutorial, and in this tutorial we're gonna take a look at this. So we're gonna create depth maps from normal footage. So let's import the footage into a new composition like that. And we're gonna be using the Foundry's new plugin Camera Tracker, which I actually got a chance of beta testing. Right here. And I want to thank the founder for that. It's very cool of them. That they let me beta test that. So let's just apply the camera tracker on the footage. So there you got this very nice looking plugin, and it looks a little bit complicated, but it's easier than it look like. And if you haven't uh, yet done it, go ahead and go to the overview of the Foundry's camera tracker on AE Plus. Just search for camera tracker and you will find it. And he gives Mark Leonard, yes, gives a great explanation of all the features, and it's very learnful, very helpful. But for now, I'm just gonna assume you watch that tutorial and go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing is go to tracking, and let's preview the feature so we can see what is going to be tracked approximately. And let's maybe do like 250 tracks, a little bit more, something like that. So I get a little more data. Actually, this is not the best footage to track, but it's alright for our purpose. But I should probably have placed some trackers on the ground for this particular scene. But anyway, let's go ahead and set the track consistency to 0.3. I found worked great. And let's just turn off render during analysis to so it tracks a little bit faster. Let's track features, and this nice thing comes up, and it will track it. And just wait till it's done. And once that is done, we're gonna go to the solver, and I have no idea which camera this is filmed with. Um, so we're gonna set this to unknown constant. And we're gonna set the camera motion to freaky edit. That's all good. We're gonna set the keyframe accuracy to high, and have the reference frame maybe to 125, which is, let's see, this frame right here has a lot of good features, I think. So we're gonna set, well, that's it, I guess. We're gonna say solve camera, and it will take a while too. Should be pretty fast. Then it will create a camera and no objects, and then you have your 3D scene. Wait for it for a moment, and there we go. Um, this is the error report, and you want to have this number as low as possible. This is not the best. You 3 almost 4 pixels error is not the best you can come up with, but for tutorial sake, it's alright. Okay, and then we will create the camera and the null when we create scene. When you click on create scene right there, is what is what you have to do. There we go. Then you have the camera and the null object right there. Now we can start and creating the depth math. So what we have to do, the idea is you create 3D planes right on the footage, so it matches the footage. Um, for example, we're gonna add a layer right here with a mask to exactly match this one, and we'll automatically follow this. And maybe we're gonna add some keyframes to match it exactly. And we're gonna do it for all things, like the floor and uh, these pair of 3D glasses too. And it only works for 3D, for simple scenes. But let me show you what I mean. So we're gonna go in, click on the effect again. Then we want to create a layer which covers this side of the glasses. So we're gonna create here. Actually, wanna click on the on 2 points which cover this side of the glasses. So this one right here, and then while holding on shift, click on this one. So you have 2 point selectors that turn yellow. Then you go to the camera tracker menu, create a solid, and we'll create a solid from here to right here. Should create a solid. Come on. There we go. So it has a nice solid right there, and it follows the side of the glass because we have the 3D camera, you see. Without it, it won't do anything. But because we have the 3D camera on, it will follow it exactly. So now what I have to do, create a new white solid, um, call this um, left glass 1, something like that, okay? Make it 3D, oops, make it 3D, and it get lost. It's somewhere floating on around space, but you can find it, you know. So what you have to do is go to the solid you just created, set the parent to none, then hit UU, and all these things, the positional, the rotation, copy that and paste, oops, um, Control C and click on the left, on the white solid you just created, and Control V. Now you have it, and scale it down a bit. There you go. And let's kill that, oops, so it covers the the side of the glass. Let's remove let's just delete the red solid and lower the opacity from this, and maybe move it down. And now we have to create a mask for this. So boom, like that. There we go. And now it's probably not gonna match it exactly, but roughly, as you can see. Now we do need to create a couple of keyframes just for the at mm, or just m, right? Let's find the point in time where it's correct, and let's add a keyframe for the mask path, and let's go further in time, and let's update those 2 points. Oops. Just like that. And here, this is also not right. You have to go like that. So that's pretty good. Let's do one more right here. So now with 5 keyframes, we have totally rotoscoped that side of the glass. And what we also can do is, what you could do, is put it right there, and I'll set the math to alpha math when you set this back to 100%. And we actually very easily rotoscope that side of the glass out. So you could do that, use this technique for that, which is fine, but we're gonna go a little step further. Let's set that back like that. So now for the first part, let's turn it off and repeat that process for every single face, just like you would this, you're modeling it basically. You're modeling the glass. So let's go this one. So we're gonna do the front now. The front we're gonna do now. So that's one, and maybe this one. Well, and this one. Let's make sure you only have two. This one, shift. This one again, and let's create a solid. Boom. There we go. And this one is a little bit more tricky, I think. Let's go ahead and create a new solid again. This is the face of the glasses. I don't glass one. Make it 3D. Turn it off for a second. Go right here. Hit UU. Copy out this stuff and paste it for the face and scale it down. Why is let's oh we have to of course set the parent to none, and let's do that once again. Copy, paste. There we go. Let's remove that one and scale it up correctly. I like to do it a little bigger if your mask is if you have to change the mask a little bit, like so. Draw the mask. Little hard to see. Hit M like that, and let's see. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, let's leave it like it is. We don't need a keyframe, and repeat that for every single face, every single thing right there. So do that yourself. I'm just gonna pause the video and do it myself, and you can do that yourself too. Okay, so now we have that. We have to do the background, which I'm just gonna do one plane. You could do this box too, but it's not really needed. And the ground plane, of course. So what we're gonna do is again go into the camera tracker, and let's select this one, maybe this one, actually to this one. So it's maybe this one. So it's like a line. What we're gonna do is again create a solid, create a solid like this. Okay, let's just fix that, the rotation of that. Just like that. Okay, now let's create a new solid, and maybe 5,000 by 5,000, because we need it to be big, um, for because it's a big ground, so just to be safe. And we're gonna call this floor, make a 3D. This one from the parent, UU, copy all this, except opacity, Control C and Control V. Let's just shut off the glasses layers. Delete this one. And it's not quite good, so let's rotate that into position. and actually just the opacity down so we can see what we're doing. So that's okay. Yeah, it covers everything up nice and yeah, it's okay. Covers yeah, yeah. Covers everything up, which is important. Let's shut the floor off and go back to the camera tracker plugin, and let's now do the same thing for for the background, the backdrop, the wall, I guess. Tu-tu-tu. Come on. Ooh, that's weirdly rotated there. Um, let's just rotate it like this. Okay, let's make sure it's right. Let's move it a little bit back so this line is about the same. Um, this line should be right on this line so it matches up with the floor, something like that. Detach it from the camera. Do actually do solid. Copy it, paste it. Actually make it 3D and then paste it. What? Weird. Okay. Let's okay, let's try to match this up. So weird. Wow. I don't know why it's doing this. Let's see. And let's fill this. Just add a fill to the backdrop so we can see where we're actually at. Like that. Let's move it back. Just like that. And let's make sure it's covering everything up in the background. Which it is, which is good. Let's put the opacity back up and just delete the fill. Now, delete this. And now turn everything back on. So now we have a 3D scene. You can see it, but let's just really quickly add a light, just just for now, so you can see it. You see, now we have everything matched up. Everything is moving, and the floor you can see is a little bit too high because it's cutting off the glasses there. So what we're gonna do is hit the floor and move it down a bit, just like that. So that looks perfect. Alright, it's working. Great. Now, there are several things you can do with this. You can create a depth mat from this, or you can again make a rotoscoping. You can do rotoscoping with this. Um, for example, if you want to rotoscope this glass out, what you have to do is just the first one. You have to fill it with black. So just fill the first one up, the first glass, because we want to rotoscope the last glass, and explain you a little bit later why. So when we just hit this with black, fill this with black, copy it, and paste it for the first one. And also the backdrop and the floor, let's add that black. So now all that is white is the second glass. And when you put this pre-comp, let's call this math, into a new composition. You can actually go ahead and choose for the matte for the glass below, for the raw glasses footage, I mean, to Luma matte. And now all you'll see is that one glass. Pretty sweet, eh? So what we're gonna do in the now is create a depth matte. So let's just delete all this stuff, except like that. All right, and let's just remove all the. I'm just undoing this. Remove all the black stuff. So now we have all the layers, but we can't really see it. We have to create a depth matte from it, meaning in the distance it should be black, and close up everything should be white. And you are going to need a plugin for that, which is either depth of DigiEffect, which is great with exactly what it's made for, but I don't have depth. I do have atmosphere though, which is not as handy, but it will do the trick with just a little bit more fine tuning, which essentially does the same thing. So what we're gonna do, let's remove the light here, is go to composition and apply atmosphere to all layers and hit OK. Yes. So now everything is white because atmosphere is the color is white. So at the standard setting, so you have to set this to black. And what this is doing is basically all the things that are farther away will be more and more black in a linear fashion. You see, but something what's very close is white, and what's further away is black. So you have to just fine tune the start depth and the end depth until you have a good contrast of black in the background and white in the start and the foreground. So let's set the resolution to quarter, and oh, actually that looks pretty good. Let's just that actually looks pretty good right there. That's pretty good. The idea is to have as much contrast as possible, but I think this will do the trick. So now we have a depth matte. So let's call this depth matte, and go into a new composition with the same footage. Just apply the depth matte over it, and now you can either create depth of field with this, or you can even create fog, which we are gonna get in just a little bit later. And now for depth of field, all you have to do is apply a plugin like um, I think it's called lens blur. I'm sorry, lens blur. So lens blur, apply the lens blur to the raw glasses and set the depth matte to depth matte like that. So now you can, with some fine tuning, let's set the iris radius high so we get more blur. Look, the background is it's a little bit hard, and I don't really work with this one, but you see, now the background is blurred and the foreground isn't. You see, with the depth matte, but it's very hard to see what's happening exactly and to get the exact right colors, the exact right blur point. So what I will use is the depth of field plugin from Frischluft. just apply that to it, and let's set the depth layer to depth matte, and you have this select depth matte function, which you can just point to the what what you want to be not blurred, and then when you set the blur up, that's where it won't be blurred, you see. And we set this to right there, the foreground would be blurred. So we can keyframe that, and we don't keyframe the select depth, but we keyframe the focal point, and then set another keyframe for the background. So now it's moving from the background to the foreground. So you get a very nice effect. And another tip for the depth matte comp, you can actually set the motion blur on for everything and for the comp. So that way the mattes are just a little bit, the masks are just a little bit more, oops, the masks are just a little bit more accurate to to match the shapes of the original video. So that's cool. So the other thing I talked about is fog. You can actually add pretty cool fog. So for that you have to show the depth matte. Let's invert it like that, and let's add curves. So what we want is to make the black darker, so that's where the fog won't be, and then we need a nice balance for where we do want the fog. So maybe right here, like that, and then you just set the transfer mode to screen, and you see the masks are a little bit off here, a little bit off. You can see that here, the masks are a little bit off. You have to fine tune that to get it really good, or you can just add a fast blur, repeat X pixel, and blur that just a little bit like that. So now we have a nice fog. When you turn it on and off, you can see there's a nice fog. Here's a little bit better example of that. Here we have a depth map for that. Pretty nice. Let's invert it. Let's add a curves adjustment like that. Something like that. Even though the cars, well, something like this. And you see the wall here actually very nicely removes there where the wall is, so it's only in the background. And let's set the transfer mode to screen. And you see that's really nice fog effect, really realistic. You can maybe use a little bit of fast blur there, just a wee bit. That looks great. So that's two things you can do with this technique. I'm sure you probably can find something something else to do with it. It's pretty great. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And my name is Jorrit Schulte for AE Touch Plus, and I will see you next time.